Hi guys, my name is Shantanu. I'm the founder at BBQ Lower Parel. We're all about American barbecue over here. We're smoking meats low and slow. So we invite you all to come and join us. So BBQ because, we're sort of doing cuisines across borders. We're not sticking to a particular cuisine. And bean sort of symbolizes the amount of vegetarian options that we're doing over here. So given everything, given our concept, there's lots of vegetarians in India that need to be sort of pleased as well. So that sort of gap at a barbecue restaurant, we wanted to sort of bridge that. So we put it in our name. And barbecue because we sort of staying true to our name. We have a lot of charred, smoked elements that sort of are running through all our dishes in the menu, and we sort of try and sort of stay true to the name, and that's why we're calling it BBQ. So we started back in 2022 in September. After I finished my course in Australia, I came back over here. I finished working in restaurants over there. I wanted to bring that culture over here. I wanted to bring that kind of cooking over here. I wanted to bring the meat cooking that specifically was missing in the Mumbai food scene. That's how I sort of came about, building BBQ. We had this smoker that I had to sort of build from scratch as well. So that was one of my major inspirations in terms of, bringing this brand, building it, and seeing it where it is today, because it's been a very long journey. It's been 5 years since we have been in Mumbai, and it's been a great journey for me as an entrepreneur, and the people who've sort of visited us from the beginning, they've sort of seen us grow. So from a 15-seater restaurant, we are at 50 seats at the moment, which sort of says a lot, and I've gone through the journey. Finding the place is the biggest headache. I mean, it's so problematic sometimes because, especially for a person like me who's obviously very new to the Mumbai food scene, I have not worked at restaurants in Mumbai. It was extremely difficult for me to sort of come to a conclusion and decide where to open. Obviously, I sort of heard about Bandra and people from all walks of life sort of coming there to dine. So it was sort of a no-brainer in those terms. But then to find a small niche spot which was welcoming enough, it was easier for people to get to and to travel. It was a big journey that we had to sort of go through. And then we locked on this place in Reclamation, which was nice, quiet lane. It used to be sort of booming pre-lockdown, and it has sort of died down. So we decided to sort of put all our hopes and dreams over there, and then we started off over there. So once we sort of set up the place, obviously sort of hiring staff is always a big problem. What happens is, people, even students, as a matter of fact, they want to work at good restaurants. They want to work with big names at big hotels. So with smaller restaurants, what happens is you're not able to get that kind of attention even from students or regular staff that are well trained. So getting staff on board is a major challenge. And then when you get them on board, what happens is you're getting regular guys who sort of not worked in kitchens at all. So grooming them into being chefs is very difficult. And the problem is only they understand the story behind what's going on over there. And if you want to sort of hire staff, that's the kind of the people that you're looking for, who want to be trained, and only those people will sort of stick by you in the longer run. Originally, the concept is an adapted concept. It is American barbecue that we are staying true to. Obviously, sort of working with the meats over here makes it different by itself, because the original American barbecue is done with beef, and we have had to work with water buffalo over here. The brisket that we do, nobody else is doing in Mumbai, because there's a lot of people who are doing pastrami, but then the low and slow cooked brisket that we do is something that really stands out. And in terms of our meats, in terms of pork that we cook over here as well, we've got this really good maple honey glaze that we do. It's something that we have sort of created. So obviously it's adapted from the American barbecue. It's based off a barbecue sauce, but then that the flavor that we've created with it, it just sort of sticks with people and they want to have more and more of it. It's really good. So obviously educating the Indian palate is a very gap that we had to bridge, because people are acquainted with barbecue as tandoor. So the biggest gap that we had to sort of fill was Barbecue Nation, something that classifies as barbecue in India. So we had to sort of change that perception. So that was a very big challenge to sort of fill and educate people what American barbecue is all about. The pork belly burnt ends that we do, that's been a cut classic at Border Bean Barbecue since day one. So these are little bits of our pork belly which are tossed in a maple honey glaze that I spoke about. So these are smoked, they are crisped up, and then they're tossed in the glaze. So they are one of them. Then we've got these pork ribs that we do. So these pork ribs are absolutely fall off the bone. They're really nice and tender. They're so juicy. So we offer them in 3 different other glazes. Apart from the maple honey glaze, we've got a herb butter, which is more European. We've got a Filipino adobo. That's a new barbecue sauce that we've sort of brought into picture. It's a Filipino barbecue sauce. And we've got gochujang as well. So that's a Korean spicy marinade that is sort of incorporated in the ribs as well. And the most important thing is the brisket that we do. So it's we've got a barbecue dry rub, American style, that sort of brings it together after cooking it low and slow for 12 hours in our smoker. And the result that we get in the end, especially how we are presenting it, I think that's really wowed people as well. Well, me being in hospitality for so long, when you become a founder, it sort of changes its meaning as well to you, because it becomes a lifestyle for you, and the people who you're working with, who you're spending so much time with, they are your second family. So how you are sort of building relationships with your guests, you're building relationships with your staff as well. So you want to sort of keep them, you want to understand their problems, you want to sort of solve your day-to-day issues, because it just sort of creates this understanding between you and the staff. So that's the only sort of way you're able to sort of create and maintain that relationship and have that staff member stick with you for a longer time. So that's sort of the key, I feel. So you have to be like a sponge when you start off. You have to sort of get your hands dirty. You have to be willing to try new things. You can't say no to anything at the beginning of your career. That's the only way you're going to learn. It's been such a long journey for me, and I'm still learning. Every day is a learning day for me. So that's something that people need to understand in India. As a student from the hospitality background in India, people sort of look down on certain jobs, like agar kisi ko bartan karne bol diya, so they're like, this is not something that I'll do, it's beneath me. It's really not the case, because especially in a city like Sydney, you're standing right next to your dishwasher, you're working with him over there. There were times when, I had to sort of jump in the dish pit over there, and I was sort of doing my dishes right next to my head chef. So it's like a life-changing event. And like an entrepreneur, you have to be a handyman, you have to be an electrician, you have to be a plumber at times, you'll be putting your hands in drains, because at the end, you're supposed to run this business. By anyhow, there'll be times when, your staff leaves, you'll be there stuck by yourself, but you have to sort of get through the day. It's a day-to-day business, like I tell people all the time, it's a long, hard, grueling job. You have to spend hours. And the thing is, the biggest support you would sort of get in a situation like this is your family, they sort of stick by you. And that's the only reason I decided to make the transition from Australia to India as well. I had a brilliant job over there. But then, I was a family man. I had to sort of come back for them over here. Yeah, people think about running a restaurant as a very glamorous business. They see all these stars opening businesses, running them, having so many restaurants behind their name, They're not the ones running the restaurants. They're just the face. when you are at the restaurant running a business yourself, you have to go through hell and back every day. Every day there's a new challenge waiting for you. You don't know what's going to come your way, all the way from your suppliers to sort of not providing you things on time, to sort of having your marketing people be in line, to your staff not showing up certain times, because there's issues, and it's human resource at the end of the day. You don't know what's going on in other people's mind. All you know is, you're going to take sort of ownership for your work. You're going to be professional. You're going to be the best version of yourself every day and present yourself as that version in front of your staff. And, it's just about consistency, this business. The more consistent you are, the more it will show in your job, the more it will show in the dishes that are sort of being served to the guests. And, this passion, it just sort of comes with time. You don't sort of get it overnight. You're not born with it. It's something that you have to develop over time. And I think it'll be very sort of heartwarming for me to sort of teach people, because that's something that I have been going through all my life, and that's what I did back in Sydney as well. You just sort of learn and learn and learn every day, and that's the only way you sort of are going to sort of stick by and run this business properly. So it's very heartwarming when a guest sort of enters the restaurant and they tell you that, they've been to your old place. They've been with you since the time you didn't have a roof over your head, and they sort of stuck by you. I still have few guests who sort of order the same thing, in spite of us adding several different things to the menu. They'll just sort of order the pork belly, their ribs, their brisket, because that's something that is never going off the menu over here, in spite of us adding so many other options, because it just sort of stays with them, and they sort of understand the sentiment and feeling that goes behind, creating that, and them being such a big part of it. Because those guests, when they come back, they sort of bring so many other people along with them. So it adds value to you. It adds value to your restaurant as well. So I really appreciate these people sort of sticking by us, through thick and thin. And they've always come in numbers and supported us everywhere we've gone. I feel I'm more invested in evolving the concept, because we've taken this leap of opening a restaurant in Mumbai, and we've already come a long way from a 15-seater restaurant to a 50-seater restaurant. So that's a big leap that we have taken at the moment. So we're sort of taking things slow. We want to sort of evolve the concept. We want to make this place better, and we want to see how that plays, because we want to be in the business for the long run. So obviously, I would love to open another outlet. And I would love to open another outlet in Bandra itself, because that's where our roots are as a brand. So that's always on the lines, but just perfecting the product that we've got over here, since it's been a little less than a year since we've been here. We've just been behind, perfecting what we have created over here in terms of beverages, in terms of food that we have got, because we've got newer options, and we're always trying new things out, depending on the feedback, because feedback is so important. So just growing and, just offering new things for people to try from however or whatever ingredients that we can sort of curate is sort of the goal at the moment. The soul of the restaurant is barbecue has no borders. So how it transcribes in our menu in terms of us adapting to different flavors from different cuisines, just to sort of bring together the barbecue that we are presenting. That's something that we want to sort of inculcate and grow as we go forward. So I'd like to thank Indian Hospitality Magazine to cover Border Bean Barbecue. And my message to anybody who's willing to join the industry is, it's going to be a long, grueling, hard industry to sort of be a part of. But you need to be very open and welcoming to all the changes that come along. You want to sort of learn every day of your life and understand that, you have the support that helped you build it in the first place. always sort of have enough experience to sort of dive into something that you're trying to create as a brand. Do your research. You have to have a really good concept, because that's something that will stand out, and people will remember it as much as they can